Hello. Oh, hang on. I hadn't sorted my microphone out. Hello, is there anybody there? Barbara, unfortunately, is having issues with her internet at the moment, so she might suddenly appear. I'm feeling under the weather, so do feel free to give me lots of sympathy. It's ridiculous. It's been for ages. So just going to give you a couple of minutes and then we are going to talk barking, which I know is something that's close to a lot of our hearts and infuriating for some. I have just closed down the thing, my YouTube, so I can't actually see any comments. Let's go back to it and see if I can see people now. I hope it hasn't broken the whole thing. Shouldn't have. Should not have. Yes, it's all good. You can still hear me. Yay! So if you've written comments, I'll be with you in a second. Professional, as always. Hello, Nicole. Hiya, Sue. Lovely to see you. Hope you are both well. What's it say? Not at my best. And poor old Barbara, she just can't get online. Right. Let's get on with it. I'm sorry if I'm not my normal bouncy self. As I say, I think after this, I might just go and have a little bit of a snooze and look after myself because I'm feeling sorry for myself. Okie dokie, where were we? So, why do dogs bark? What are we going to do about it? So, first question is to you, whether you're watching live or I've got a Barbara. This is very exciting. This is very exciting. Hold that thought. Here she is. Look, you can see she's coming. She's nearly here. Hi, Barbara. We're live on YouTube.
Hi, Julia. Hi, everyone. Sorry, this was like a major struggle today.
Don't worry. We just started without you. We've got Nicole, we've got Sue, there's somebody else there, who knows who. So yeah, we do have people watching.
Awesome.
And I just introduced the topic.
Cool. We're talking about barking, aren't we?
We are. And I was just about to ask who has a barky dog? And you wonder why nothing works. And it feels really frustrating. So whose dog is a barker? So put a pineapple in the comments if your dog is a barker. I need to go in and find the pineapple because I have a barker. Do you have a barker?
I do. I have Falky, and he's barking full blast. Not working. Right now, my plan's not working.
Your plan?
My plan for Falky not to bark is not working.
Yeah, Hattie is now in a different room. Dash is an alert barker, as we know, but he's not as barky as Hattie is. Is it just me and you? We're the only ones with barkers. Oh yes, Sue, she's with us. She's in the barky crew. As I say, if you're watching on catch up, do join in.
Yeah, let us see your pineapples.
So we can all feel so much better about ourselves that we've all got lots of barky dogs.
Yeah. And I mean, look. Oh, Nicole says Chopin is normally quiet but likes to bark at the closet where he knows the treats are when it's time for bed. Well, and here's the thing. I mean, barking is 100% normal communication.
Absolutely.
Right?
And it works. You know, they do it because it works.
Yeah.
So long and the short of it.
Yeah. So Nicole's example is a perfect one I'm pretty sure there are treats involved in your bedtime ritual. So Falky. So Chopin knows how to,
He's like, it's time.
Yeah.
Come on, get a move on, Nicole. Where's my treat? You're late.
Yeah. And then for many of the Falky's right there now.
Is
Yipping.
he? Can
Yeah.
he come here?
It's because Stevie's in season, so he's like out of his
Oh, you're
mind.
kidding. So, oh gosh.
It's like really bad. It's like that started to be really bad the day before yesterday. It's like peak season, so to speak. Yeah.
Nightmare.
Uh, he doesn't even eat his lunch. That's how bad it is.
Oh, poor little Falky.
Because that was my plan, right? For them to eat. And if they're outside, I thought if they're outside, they would come. We were at the field, away from her. Before that, we were resting here. It was all calm. No bitches on his mind. And then straight into the garden, get your thingies there. John was dishing them out. Stevie's has hers, like totally the opposite side of the house. But anyway, but that's a different topic. So let's not digress.
Kind of related though, isn't it? Because it's one of those things that can just add to everything that can then fuel extra barking.
Yeah, and I think with some dogs, like Falcon, for example, and maybe, well, I don't know with your dogs, but vocalization is just very much who they are. So Falky will bark for all sorts of reasons.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few main reasons, aren't they? They might bark to get something to go away. They
Yeah,
might,
we're talking generally, yes.
yeah, they might bark to get attention or to get stuff to happen.
Yeah,
So those are
yeah.
kind of the functions. But some dogs have different ways of getting those functions. So, like you say, it depends.
And then excitement, right? Arousal, like this is now totally, excitement barking, arousal barking. Now I will bark. He's a really calm dog around the house. He will bark to get something. He will go to the door and bark, so we open the door for him, which is 100% cool with me. And
Absolutely.
then bark outside. He'd sit in front of the door, do a quiet bark, and he in night too, if he needs to go, and he always starts really quietly, and then it gets louder if you don't comply. Um, and
I'm the same, to be fair.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but when I work him certain exciting behaviors or in agility and so on, he vocalizes a lot. Because I built too much arousal into these behaviors, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so frustration, dogs can bark out of frustration.
Definitely frustration. Yeah, absolutely.
Those are all those emotional, less intentional reasons, right?
Exactly. And that's kind of the thing, isn't it? Is that
Mm.
like a lot of these behaviors that we see, like you said, Barbara, they're just normal dog behaviors, just
Mm.
normal things that normal dogs do. And it's when dogs are communicating with us.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're being disobedient or naughty or
No.
anything. They're just
And then,
communicating.
I mean, in some of these scenarios, there is a high likelihood of either environmental reinforcement or inadvertent reinforcement from our side. And we don't
Absolutely.
like to emphasize that too much because we have, again and again, we have people ask us, or being reluctant to use food when when the dog is leash reactive or, overreacting to a trigger
Yeah.
because they're worried about reinforcing the biking, right? So, and that is therefore a difficult topic to talk about, isn't it? Because
It really is. Yeah.
you can inadvertently
Yeah.
reinforce biking, absolutely. However, there are kind of two different kinds, aren't there? There's the
Yeah.
emotional side, and then there is the intention.
Exactly. And it's kind of looking what's the least worst thing that we can do here? What's
Yes,
the priority? And if you've
yes,
got a reactive dog, the priority has to be the emotional response that
absolutely.
the dog is having. And then if that inadvertently reinforces some barking, then you deal with that later.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Cool.
the way I look at it. Have we got some comments? Super duper. So when if barking is becoming a big issue, so it might be, say, if you excuse me, if you have neighbours that are sort of complaining because your dog's barking, so that's when it can become a big issue.
Mm, mm,
So any solutions that we try and come up with, they're not going to work unless you've identified why the dog is barking in the first place. Because we need to look at, say you've got a dog that barks when they're frustrated. Okay, we need to see if we can remove the source of that frustration. If they're looking for attention, well, what can we do to kind of give them something else or give them that attention that they require? So it's really, really important. So, what would you give us some practical tips if for people that have got barkers?
So number one is obviously management. So if we have first step would be to know what it is that sets the dogs off. You need to
Yes.
know what the trigger is, right?
Mm,
And then we can use management to block access to the trigger or lower the intensity of the trigger. So
absolutely.
yeah, so for the window guardians, right? Let them not get so close to the window, maybe block the view. There are various ways we can do this. Or if you have dogs like Falcon, where it's very much auditory, it's noises that he reacts to, it's sights too, but sights relatively easy, so noises not so much, right? So you
Mm,
can use, we have our windows. If it's really bad and really noisy outside, then the windows will be closed.
yeah.
Can be difficult in the summer, I do get that, but my dog comes first.
Yeah.
And then you can have white noise. I play music. I found a really cool so first of all, I want to say there is some research that shows that classical music really helps dogs to calm, right? So that's a good choice if you want to play music, sort of background. It doesn't have to be loud because dogs have really good hearing, but it can mask outside noises. Interestingly, the other type of music, which the other type of music is that dogs really like and that really
Is it
calm.
reggae?
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't that
I thought I
cool?
had that in the back of my brain.
Yay. So really, really cool. So and there are numerous playlists on YouTube.
Yeah.
Um, I must admit, I've tried a bunch of them and they kind of don't do it for me because inevitably there's music that I don't like so much.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? It's that,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if there's research on this. This is me kind of thinking this stands to reason. That I would imagine that the same of us, dogs will have preferences as to what's going to work for them. And there will be some rhythms or sounds that they might find a bit annoying. And that will depend on the dog. So it's worthwhile doing a bit of experimenting. And when I was away the other week, doing the ACE stuff that I was doing, we had a really interesting conversation about playing sounds for dogs
Yeah.
and incorporating
And
that into our free work. And one of the things we were thinking about was natural soundscapes. So thinking about when your dog, what they're hearing when they are naturally quite relaxed. Oh dear, little mate. So if you're on a walk, if you watch your dog and you see them kind of relax, is it because they can just hear, like, for some dogs it might be Tweety birds, or but some dogs might find that really arousing, and it's going to depend on the different dogs as to what you might use. So it's worth just sort of experimenting a little bit. So for me, for example, if you play classical music, and I like classical music, except when it's kind of plinky plonky. Do you know what I mean by plinky plonky?
yeah,
I'm sure some of you know. But things like waltzes, I'm not a big waltz fan. Irritates me. Something about the rhythm, don't like it.
right.
Grates on me. And I'm thinking, well, what if our dogs have got that too? And it kind of stands to reason. So I would have a little bit of a experiment and see how their body language changes with different music on. I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at my I totally agree with everything that you say. Um the thing is, if the music doesn't relax you, or if you can't work with some music or groove with some music, it doesn't help. So the only reason I mentioned those playlists, because I've got to be careful with natural noises because Falky likes whatchamacallit, he
He's
goes wound up by bird sound.
birds. I was just going to say
So
Tweety birds are an issue for him,
yeah,
so that's not going to work for
everybody's
him.
different.
Yeah,
Now I'm going to share with you my favorite. I'm going to put it in our chat if you don't mind. This is my favorite one, and the dogs seem to like it.
I shall try it.
It's jazz, so it's neither reggae nor classical. It's jazz, but it works for us.
I'm going to try some
It's what
reggae.
I played that
later on.
when we had the dinner party the other night.
Ah,
I mean, I tried it before because I need to play music that I can still work by. I'm no longer a teenager, so I can't think and work to
I
heavy
start
metal
singing
music or
along and all sorts. I'm not very
yeah,
good at
it's
not
not gonna work.
taking any notice.
But this puts me in a good mood, and it's kind of, it's one of these playlists for work and focus. But I kind of
Yeah,
like it. Anyway, everybody's got their own favorite, so let's not go too deep. But I found
exactly.
the one that I like.
So Nicole said they had a bad thunderstorm yesterday and played some music which helped things go fine, which is great. The other issue you've got with thunder and fireworks and all those big noises, of course, is it's not just about sound. It's going to be about the air will feel different because sound does move through the air, and our dogs are sensitive to that kind of thing. So vibration in the ground as well as the air is going to be a thing, and that's one of the difficult things with desensitizing. And why, if you've got a dog that's particularly sensitive to those sorts of things, thinking about flooring is something that you might need to do, which is difficult because it's not bloody cheap.
Mm.
Remy from Sue, Remy goes crazy when he hears parrots as they tend to screech. I find that pretty irritating as well. Yeah. When I was in Australia, I hear you. There's a lot of very screechy birds there, isn't there? And you'd wake up and there was like, what was it? Trying to remember what we used to get screeching. Lorikeets, I think it was. They were like really, and used to get a flock come over the same time every day. But yeah, really irritating for our dogs because it's right up at that range as well, isn't it? It's right up at their range, so it's a bit of a big deal, that one. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And the other sorts of stuff that you can do when there are, the thing, if you once you've identified, there will be trigger points. There'll be things that are triggering barking. So identifying what they are and put them kind of in a hierarchy. So what are the little triggers that might get a little bit of a rather than a full blown, or Hattie does, she does before she's going to bark, she does a little grumble. Identifying those can be quite important because with those noises, you can then do something else. So you might say, oh, let's do some hand touches when that's happening to make those less and less relevant, and kind of build up with whatever it happens to be, whether it's noises or things that you can see with the barking or times of day, just change the picture a little bit, do something a little bit different. That can be useful.
Yeah.
Hattie says, no, it can't. She
It
likes it.
really, yeah. And then you can then, if you know what the triggers are, you can actually make them cues. I mean, look, it always depends on how your dog is feeling. That's what we always say, right? We really have to somebody's asking for the playlist here. It's here. It's just above your comment.
I can't see it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll try it again. Try it again.
Otherwise, we can pop it in the Facebook group, can't
Yeah,
we?
we can try a look.
It's a very good point.
Did you see my pineapple earlier?
I did see your pineapple because I copied your pineapple. So
I
your
don't know.
pineapple worked. Maybe
Okay,
it's
the
a
pineapple
little,
again.
it's a little bit, there's a pineapple. There it is.
Above the pineapple, there is no.
Nothing. No.
Well, then I put it behind the pineapple now.
Bit annoying.
Still not.
No, just
How
pineapple-y.
how odd.
Why don't you put it on the reminder post in the Facebook group?
I will. I will. But
Yeah,
if you
pop
guys
it
want
there.
to Google it, it's the Black Cats Deep Groove. And I think the channel is Noir Jazz Cats.
Cats. Very
It's got,
jazz, isn't it?
yeah, it's got nice images too. Anyway, um, what was I was going to say something.
You were.
Yeah, so depending, so this is, and I don't have, we can think about this, hard and fast rules about this, but the thing is, depending on your dog's emotional state around the trigger, you first need to obviously work on lowering that, but you can totally use those as cues for your dogs to do something.
So a good example would be knocking on the door, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I get you. So the knock or the doorbell or whatever then becomes a cue for them to go to their beds or into their crate, or
Yeah, that's sort of the classic example.
that's the
Exactly.
classic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on your dog really, what behavior you use because
Yeah, but think carefully about the behavior because you
exactly.
wouldn't want um for example, I'm just thinking with Sue, you wouldn't want the screeching parrots to become a cue for the dog to do a spin or something, or else you just end up with this whirling dervish dog. So yeah, if you want that to happen, think of something that's going to be quite calm and sensible. But for that, I would look at times of day and see when are the worst times of day so that you are forewarned and forearmed. Yeah, let's put it in the yeah, Sue's saying she can't get comments when she replays
I'm
YouTube,
busy doing
so
it now.
that's perfect. Superb. So, have you guys got any more top situations where your dog barks? So, mine's generally alert barking when there is people outside the house, and I don't have a problem with it because there are times when I'm here and it's just me and the dogs, and I do quite like them to sound a little bit ferocious, even though they're not very ferocious at all. But they do sound, I mean, Hattie particularly, doesn't she? She can make a good impression of a ferocious, meanie dog.
She can.
Hmm?
She can. She totally
She
admits
can do
to.
it, yeah, she can do an impression of one.
Mm. Yeah. So I did this little chat the other day here with the local Rotary group,
Oh, you did, didn't
and
you? Yeah.
yeah, and when I prepared it, it just, I mean, I know we say this all the time, but it's kind of, it was just, what's the word? When something, sometimes a thing that you thought you've known all the time just hits you and you really know it. I don't know.
Yeah, so
Something
like
sinks in even deeper.
I know
Because,
exactly what you mean, and I can't think of the word because my brain is very
yeah.
fuzzy.
It was a real, and that is that you have to have different solutions for different dogs, right? How
Definitely.
important that is, and how that um you can't just this is what you do. Like people always want, oh, not everybody, but like very often people are looking for the one thing that will fix their dog, and
Mm.
there might very well be, but it's always number one, there's always a combination of things, and then also you just have to figure out what works for your dog,
Yeah,
right? Like you
exactly.
just said, some behaviors under certain circumstances are just a big ask. To ask a dog to sit patiently and watch you welcome guests.
Exactly. When they're hyper aroused, getting them to station, that's actually quite punishing for a lot of dogs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, you might be able to get there, but it will take a lot of training.
Yeah.
And why, when there are other ways, right?
Mm.
You can ask them for behaviors that there might be, that might be much easier for them to do. And if they need movement, they can run in, like the same with the biking. The trigger appears, let them run somewhere and bring you something,
Yeah.
which is the double.
Exactly. And that can be quite nice because I quite like that when visitors come, go and get something because it's self-soothing as well, isn't it? For them, it's
Mm,
kind of reassuring for them. So it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
double bubble.
And they can
Mm.
move. Because I mean, I don't, we all know this feeling when we can't really sit still, right? Certain emotional.
As we're both twitching around a lot. We always do, don't we? But yeah, exactly. It gets them moving and they can use that chewing, grinding kind of thing. And for some dogs, just carrying something is soothing, isn't it?
Mm, mm, exactly.
Brill.
Good, good.
We've got a couple of people with some things to talk about when their dogs bark. If you've got any
Ah,
questions before we finish, just now's the time to bob them in as well.
yeah.
So Sue says it's always the dogs over the back fence set him off. If they bark or not, he knows they're there and must be barked at. Yes. So for that one,
So I'm convinced that we could, that you can come up with a plan for that one,
yeah,
Sue.
100%.
Put that up a bunch of times. Um, yeah, but I think you're at a point where you really want to systematically now address this rather
Yeah,
than in bits and bobs.
absolutely.
Um, and then answer.
And she's got new cats wandering in the neighbourhood, so a new distraction, novelty, unpredictable. Yep, 100%. Hattie, on the other hand, has an issue in the garden with cats that she knows and hates.
Mm,
So for her, I tend to use management because I can recall her back in when she sees one. She kind of humps a bit, like, God, you're forever spoiling my fun. But I will recall her and just shut the door and, and she doesn't go and bark at the window, so that's not so bad.
yeah,
But again, that's because that's a specific solution that works for her.
yeah.
Might not work for every dog who might then just bark and bark and bark at the window and go bananas.
We get a meltdown when the dog spot a cat or think they've spotted a cat. Um, and then certain noises. But here's the thing, even with Falky, who's like such a wired dog, now the recovery is so quick.
Yeah,
I've noticed that often now, like the usual times, things like in the mornings, when there is traffic in the road, foot traffic in the road, and then on other properties, dogs might bark, and that will set him off. That I don't have to toss food all the time or anything. I can just talk to him and give him a reassuring pat. Or he might come over and I stroke him a little bit. So he doesn't. It's not that he's completely cured. He's still
mm.
sensitive to the noises, and it always depends.
But he's down that line, isn't he? We know that tends to be one of the earlier signs that things are starting to get much, much better
Yeah, and
when
he
you get that
might
recovery.
he might never completely lose it until he loses his hearing. I
Mm,
mean, there is also we always have to accept the dog that we have. It's just that we
exactly.
we have to get to a point where we can live with what we got, right?
Exactly.
And it's definitely, he's definitely better in that regard. We still have other things that we need to work on, like
Yeah.
right now his sister, but that we will definitely more drastic measures about that one. And I mean, we will neuter him, but I don't want to do it when they're still babies, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then things like the hose pipe that drives him completely bonkers. But I think he's really scared of water and the hose pipe, so
Yeah.
I'll come up with a plan.
Poor little sausage.
Hmm.
Right. We'll leave it there for now. And we'll see everybody next week. Hopefully, I'll have a bit more energy.
Yeah, I'll be feeling better.
So, yeah.
Good. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks, Nicole, for being here.
And Sue and Anne and Renninger, not sure who you are, your first name, but thank you anyway.
If you're here for the first time, then welcome.
Yay! And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.